survivors of one of the most deadliest school shootings in America will walk across the stage as they graduate high school today. Fox 61's Angela Bavaro is joining us with how they're going to honor their peers who lost their lives during a senseless tragedy.
The Bridgeport ballot scandal has now led to 4 arrests. We're hearing from former mayoral candidates who have been calling for those arrests to be made.
Plus, advocates pushing for more funding and demanding change when it comes to tuition at Connecticut state colleges. What they're asking local leaders to do during the next budget meeting.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
It is 6 o'clock. Good Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for starting your day off with us here at Fox 61, Fox 61 Plus America areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. We're going to start with the forecast here as we're getting a little bit closer to Father's Day weekend. Want to know if things are looking okay outside, but man, I don't want to get too far ahead. Matt, how are things now?
Hey, you're a dad, I'm a dad. Yeah. Get as far ahead as you want for this weekend.
Sure.
Good morning to you. Listen, forecast largely over the next 7 days looking really good, and that does include Father's Day. Still feeling pretty great. The heat, we're going to start to turn that up a little bit. Not much today, but stand by because those numbers are big. The humidity holds off for now, and Dad's Day is looking delightful. We'll talk about that coming up. A look at the cloud and radar picture. Nothing in either department. Blue skies blazing across the board. Looking for a fast warm up in the temperatures. 54 in Hartford, 60 on the Green in New Haven, 56 in Groton. Your dew point still very much in check. They're behaving. Low 50s out there, and that's the way it is across the region. So we're not quite done with the dry air just yet. 59 this morning, 77 later on this afternoon under a few clouds. Like yesterday, they'll blot out the sun. They won't produce any rain coming up. We'll talk about where we're going with the heat and eventually the humidity. They are both in the forecast along with Father's Day. Talk about it coming up. 6:02. Good morning, Rachel Piscatelli, a woman who I know has been ready to celebrate her dad for what, the last 2-3 weeks? Been getting ready for those.
I love to celebrate my dad every day.
Good answer. Good answer.
6:02 right now. Very appreciative of what my family does and parents do. We are following an issue, Matt, on 84 this morning, eastbound 84 over in Cheshire. This is an overturned tractor trailer on that eastbound side out by 26 and 27. We'll take a live look outside there where you can see we have a tow truck. We also have flatbreads out there that are trying to get that right side up. Now, you can't see it because of the sun glare, but a good portion of the tractor trailer is actually off of the roadway at this point. So we know that the right 2 lanes are closed, and even the left center lane is not closed, but it is impacted by that with the sheer amount of volume and also just the amount of response that this is having. We know that the DOT is on scene, as well as the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection on scene as well. We don't know what was in the tractor trailer. We know that minor injuries were reported with this. Here's the delays that are starting to stretch back out by exit 26, although they have not hit exit 25 at this point. So your drive times there, eastbound 84, Waterbury 18 to 25, Tim and Erica, a 5-minute drive. Back to you.
Rachel, thank you. Boy, you can only imagine the swirling mix of emotions there's going to be at Newtown High School's graduation today, because dozens of students who are going to be walking the stage are survivors of the Sandy Hook tragedy.
Yeah, nearly 12 years after the mass shooting, several survivors are speaking out, reflecting on the moment that changed their lives forever and also sharing their hopes for the future. Fox 61's Angela Bavaro is joining us now with much more. Angelo.
Erica, Tim, good morning. About 60 of those 330 students graduating Newtown High School today are survivors of the Sandy Hook shooting that killed 20 kids and 6 educators. And now, as all those students look beyond high school, it's the legacies of their fallen classmates, these faces here behind me, that are motivating their goals for the future. Several survivors have been active in the Junior Newtown Action Alliance and its anti-gun violence efforts. They recently took that mission, take a look at this, to the White House, meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris about gun safety laws. The students do plan to continue their advocacy after high school. They say working with that alliance makes them feel less helpless.
I knew I wanted to do something more since I was younger when the tragedy first happened. I wanted it to turn such a terrible thing into something more, and that these children and educators didn't die for nothing. Of course, it was awful what happened to them, and it should have never happened. But I think that for me, something bigger needed to come out of it, or else it would have been all for nothing.
It's a way to feel like you're doing something, because we're fighting for change, and we're really not going to stop until we get it.
Now, many of those survivors say they continue to live with the trauma of that day. Loud noises still cause them to jump out of their seats, and some always keep an eye on a room's exits. Many have spent years in therapy for post-traumatic stress, depression, and anxiety. The graduates say leaving the protective bubble their hometown has offered will be both difficult and somewhat freeing. Now, victims of the Sandy Hook shooting will be honored during that ceremony, but details about that are being kept under wraps ahead of that graduation ceremony. Tim, Erica, I will send things back to you.
Angela, thank you.
Well, 4 people accused of ballot fraud in Bridgeport now face criminal charges.
Yeah, the state's attorney's office announced the arrests of Wanda Geter-Pataki, who's a city employee, city councilor Alfredo Castillo, and 2 people who worked for Mayor Joe Ganem's campaign, Nilsa Heredia and Josephine Edmonds. All 4 of them have been charged with unlawful possession of absentee ballots, but each one of them is facing additional charges. Now, all of this stems from an investigation of ballot misuse in the 2019 Democratic mayoral primary. Mayor Ganem refused to talk to us for this story, but his former opponents in both 2019 and from last year talked to us, and both of them said they knew something was going on.
I always felt like I had been cheated. I didn't know the depth of it.
We caught it live on video directly from City Hall. The players and the actors remained the same.
Now, that last person, that was John Gomes. He was the 2023 primary opponent. Remember, these charges, even though 2023 is when a lot of these accusations came to light, these arrests and charges stem from the 2019 election, not the 2023 Democratic primary, during which there were a lot of accusations of ballot fraud anyway. And the State Elections Enforcement Commission is still investigating last year's primary as well.
All right now we have an update on a story that we brought to you as breaking news yesterday morning. The head of the Hartford Police responds to the latest grievance from the union. Now, if you missed it, the police union filed a complaint over a mandate requiring officers to work on their days off. The policy is in place to address staffing shortages. The union says a hearing for the issue has been postponed twice. The union says the policy was originally proposed as a 90-day trial, but has stretched into nearly 3 years.
We just keep beating people. They're leaving. The quality of life. We just lost an officer who had 20 years. He has a contract to be 25. He left. Primary complaint, quality of life. We're losing 2 more officers that have over 20 years. In the next couple of weeks, again, quality of life.
Chief Jason Thody announced plans to retire back in March. He remains on the job today while the search for a new chief unfolds. The chief released a statement saying, while there is no immediate fix for staffing shortages, they have made great strides in recruitment and retention. And his office sent us data on the number of times that the department has had to call officers in to cover shifts. In the last year, this happened 354 times. And out of those, there were 94 instances of an officer working on their regular day off. Now, the mayor's office also sent us a statement. Part of it reads, one of Mayor Aurelien Lampalum's budget priorities was maintaining and improving staffing levels, and we continue working with the police department to achieve that goal. And happening today, students and staff who are part of Connecticut state colleges and universities are going to rally over how the system's leaders plan to address a big hole in the budget.
Before that happens, though, Governor Ned Lamont will meet with those leaders at Central Connecticut State University in New Britain. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is there. She joins us now live with the details on what they're going to talk about.
Hi, good morning. Well, we're told the governor is set to make an announcement this morning regarding the university's board, but it's still unclear exactly what that announcement will be. Now, this is all happening 1 hour before students and faculty are set to rally in Hartford. The CSCU system said that they were in a $140 million deficit for the next school year. The board made cuts to part-time staff, limited services, and implemented a tuition hike. In addition, the state legislature provided emergency funding to help the university, chipping in about $60 million. It's still unclear how this money will be used. Students and staff are speaking out this morning, urging officials to use the money to stop the planned tuition hikes and course cuts. The CSCU Finance Committee is set to meet later this afternoon to discuss the 2025 fiscal budget. Now, Governor Ned Lamont will be here at Central Connecticut State University around 10 o'clock this morning for that announcement. So we'll keep you updated on air, online, and of course on Fox 61 Plus as well. Live in New Britain this morning, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Lindsay, thank you.